Here's forgotten more. June 17. In early Victorian Britain, most street lamps were not powered by gas. They were fueled by the ghosts of nuns. Really? Probably not, but what a lovely thought. And certainly, what else explains that picture? In 1946, outdoor laundrettes were all the rage. Before advances in technology allowed for internal spinning drums, each washing machine contained a man armed with a bar of soap. Bored housewives often became enamored of handsome washermen, leading to many clandestine affairs. Throughout the 1950s, the most underexposed private detective walking the blurred grey line between law and justice in the mean streets of San Francisco was Falco Malteser, known to both the criminal underworld and to the police for his photographic memory. Ah, Nightwolf, greetings, welcome. I was just looking through Curious Forgotten Lore, a very novel Twitter account. How have you been, Nightwolf? Well, I hope. Bit grim. In 1936, a 17-month investigation by the Psychic Investigatory Supernatural Scientific Examination Department, PIST, of course, which involved round-the-clock surveillance by a team of telepathic detectives, eventually bore fruit when a photograph conclusively proved the existence of a poltergeist. Nice. And glad to read it, Nightwolf. This, by the way, if you have Discord, is an open mic article raid. You're welcome to join in, if you're so inclined. Have you joined the Discord server? Oh, wait a second. I might have... muted myself in said Discord server. No? No, I'm the only one in the rec hall. That's fine. No one cares. No one cares. Ah, understood, Nightwolf. No obligation. Should you, get Discord, which does have a mobile app as it happens, let me know and I'll be sure to get the relevant link to you, but again, it's not like I'm going to insist. After the Industrial Revolution, with large numbers of humans moving from rural locations to dwell in cities, there was a marked decrease in the urban pollution of moth fairies, who found their natural camouflage provided little defense in predominantly brick-built environments. That's as good explanation as many. Oh, well. Whenever you're capable, you'll be welcome. And I'm sincerely flattered. In 1378, Queen Kriemhilde of Burgundia realized during a game of charades that her dwarven slave was miming a 5-word phrase, but failed to guess what that phrase was. Quote, "Power to the little people," unquote. His mime was a signal to fairy revolutionaries who jollily decimated the human population. Under the same reality. Greetings, Numbskull. It's been too long. I haven't really caught a game in a while. That has to change. Maybe we can set a specific time and date to stream together again. It really has been too long. Greetings also, the entangled Enderman. Hypothetically, congratulations, although if you're really following the whole faith of the blue whale, then I suppose your next step is to die somehow. The whole becoming a ghost thing. A ghost Enderman novel. In 1961, the Brentford Wool Club was tipped to win the National Knitting Competition Championship when rivals from Salisbury Needlecraft Society released a swarm of moth fairies who devoured Brentford's entries. The Wool Club cast off their peaceful demeanour and knitted with malice aforethought. Ah, understood, numbskull, and sympathies. Whenever you are back online, numbskull, be sure to let me know. In 1846, Ireland was plagued by an outbreak of leprosy when leprous leprechauns, a subspecies of butterfly fairy of the genus Lepidoptera malevolentia, were offended by the poor quality of whiskey sacrificed to them. Over 5,000 victims' faces fell off, causing a boom in mask sales. Yeah, that would explain it. Well, I wish you the absolute best of luck, numbskull. I can definitely sympathize. Welcome, Angry Froman. Once again, open article. Wade, you're welcome to pop on whenever you like. I'm in the rec hall even now. We have 4 free slots, if I'm not mistaken. This is perhaps my favorite piece right here. Curious Forgotten Lore, September 19th. In Amsterdam, there's a monument to the Cheese Gnome, a unique fairy dairy being with a temporarily contrary nature. The Cheese Gnome emits a magical field which reverses the flow of time. Dutch legends state that the Cheese Gnome invented Edam, the only cheese that is made backwards. Oh, I suppose I should go ahead and get the intro out of the way.
Arketer Labs.
Right. I suppose we would launch into articles. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lined up. Hopefully enough. If not, I suppose I could always add more. And I plan on ending the things with dog metal. I should do an SCP file reading, I suppose. I had meant to reveal one of our own contained subjects. Just the one, really. It's a bit of a novelty. Deemed too ineffectual or inoffensive to warrant serious, usual overreactive protective measures. Another time. You'll have to forgive me. I am exhausted. It has been a taxing week, personally. 2 videos out this week. One early and one just a few hours ago. Please be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Part 2 on how to destroy your enemies. The actual part 2, where I'm moving on past fat shaming and how to convince fat people to offer themselves in a slow, horribly painful process to better discuss the clever methods employed by the, well, truly devious racists of today. The ones who know that if you really want to destroy an ethnicity, you have to convince them that they can't be racist. and then watch again as racism eats them alive. HBO was so kind as to put out a skit that perfectly articulated what it looks like when a group actually buys that. Surprisingly understood Angry Froman.
Hello.
Ah, Miss Dean, seeing fit to join us. Fantastic. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Are you hearing everything all right?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, well, then we're great.
What up, my home slices?
Hello, Home Slice.
Greetings, Angry Froman. Again. Audibly so.
So,
Well, the first article I've brought up from Angry Froman's Rage pages is, of course, from the Deccan Chronicle. Teen shoves electric wire up penis to arouse self, needs surgery. I see we're off to a very jolly start.
I get I get these articles every like 3 months or so. Someone decides to shove something up their dick. Why?
You know, remember in the innocent, naive days when it was just people shoving weird things up their ass?
At least
I remember when that was as weird as it got. Yeah, sure, it was often a light bulb, eggplant, a small rodent, but no one thought at the time that, hey, I've got a bunch of fishing line. It needs to go right up my dick.
Actually seen this around before. These articles, we've covered them in and yeah, it's called sorting. It's
It's called what?
soaring or sorting, something like that.
Sorting.
It's an actual sexual kink.
Now, I'm familiar.
very dangerous
Wait,
one.
hold on. If you're saying sounding?
Sounding.
Yes.
I was getting confused.
Well, actually, I know about this mainly because I grew up and have been horrified with the internet. And, of course, if I hadn't already, then I've also been exposed to Opal, who is, of course, deeply interested in this topic. Now, quite frankly, if people want to do things like that, it can probably be done safely. This isn't that, though.
Well, the thing is, even this one person who is a hardcore BDSM nut, right? The most outlandish shit. Even he said, "Oh, that's just fucked."
Mm-hmm. Well, he must be very old school one. This is no doubt the hot hip thing that kids are doing with. Why wires?
I don't know.
This isn't the first time this has come up on the show. Even I'm sure Froman has also put other things up there where they've stuck something up there that gets.
I haven't. I have not done this stuff.
Oh no, not yourself. Articles you've posted articles. I'm sure there's been articles you've posted before where.
I've never done anything like this.
I'll look up the other one. I think it was a USB cable.
Oh.
I've never done anything like that, and I have a big fat one.
In a bizarre case, doctors had used a laser to remove electrical wire that had knotted an 18-year-old's bladder after he shoved up his urethra to arouse himself. A news report in Mail Online said the unnamed teenager from Uttar Pradesh in India was in pain and struggled to urinate.
Oh.
But did not confess to urologists the reason behind his agony. I suppose because he had to realize there's just no explaining that.
I'm thinking, like, if you tried to pass it off, it would be like a kidney stone, but metal. Oh.
Wait. However, medics delved into his medical history and found out this was not the first time he had put strange objects into his urethra.
Maybe this is the same guy as last time.
I wonder. They assumed he had placed another object in his urethra and conducted scans which showed an electrical wire tangled in his bladder. Urologists were forced to use a laser to break the wire up into smaller pieces to pull out of his urethra. However, they did not reveal how long the wire was, long enough to tangle in his bladder. The bizarre tale, revealed in a prestigious medical journal, did not explain what other objects the man had placed in his urethra in the past. Writing in the BMG case reports, medics in Lucknow said the man used the wire for eroticism, his sexual desire, at 18. They added that surgery was managed by endoscopic removal following fragmentation of the wire under local anesthesia using holmium laser. Wow.
We are classy people.
You know, I think that's enough of that. Say, let's take some time to rant about politics.
Oh.
Have you been listening to what's going on?
Are you talking about the Kavanaugh thing?
Indeed. But what's your take on this?
Provide evidence before anything else, burden of proof. That's what our legal system is based off of.
Presumption of innocence, due process. Yeah, that's... I'm actually totally agreed. And you think that would be easy to cover objectively, but boy howdy, this is just exceptionally partisan. You go to CNN and why, clearly you must believe her. Go to Fox, then clearly she's a horrible liar. But there's a middle ground that all too few people are understanding here. It's entirely possible that she had someone rub up on her 35 years ago in high school at a drunken party. The odds of it being Brett Kavanaugh specifically seem awfully slim, especially when the only evidence presented puts him not even in the same house. And it really doesn't help your case when every witness you cite either doesn't remember it or straight up refutes it. But oh boy, are a lot of people certain that based upon this one accusation, Brett Kavanaugh must burn! Burn!
Isn't there like posit, or at least like if you haven't done something like 7 years, not like a big crime like
statute
murder,
of limitations, you say?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
normally yes. However, this particular state had its statute of limitations on this point removed. When it happened, when this incident occurred, there was such a statute. But now there isn't, and that's one of the reasons they think this is something to bring up. Now, they've delayed the confirmation vote for a week, as I understand it, to investigate these allegations. Oh boy, I wonder what the odds are that new allegations will be taken suddenly very seriously once that week is up.
See,
who the hell do they think they're kidding? This is anything less than partisan. And oh boy, once Kavanaugh gets confirmed anyway, which is pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point, yeah, they're going to just ditch Ford out of a moving van.
Whenever I hear allegations like that, it reminds me of this girl I knew who accused someone of raping her when he wasn't even in the same country as her when the time happened.
People lie. They can lie for any number of reasons. That's why listen and believe is probably one of the stupidest advice you could give out. You can listen, but listen and investigate, damn it. Not listen and believe.
I kind of see it this way. Let's say that everything happened exactly as the accuser says it happened. Is he the same person he was 35 years ago? Are you the same person you were 35 years ago? 35 years ago, I was a single-celled organism.
Yeah. I imagine 35 years ago, a lot of people watching this stream right now are pretty much gone. Arketer, is there bleach in your list today? Bleach.
35 years ago, I stole a bunch of World War II weapons, but that was due to a time machine, not really age.
I'm baffled by people who think that this is something that is worth. Oh. So basically, Numbskull has a request. And Angry Femin knows what they're talking about. That's fantastic. I'll add that to the list. Why not?
I put it in Rage Pages. I'll also throw it in chat.
Ah, this. Yes. You know what? I'll go ahead and pull it up right now.
Oh yes, Numbskull. I've seen that everywhere. It's pretty much a chemical attack. I once have to worry about Muslims, and now I have to worry about being a man.
I've heard people saying that this is like fake because if it's real, she would be beaten within the first thing.
Even if it's fake though, it gives insane people ideas.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical that this wasn't staged. Lynn pours bleach on men's groins to stop the manspreading. Heard of manspreading? No! It's not an agricultural abbreviation for manure spreading, nor is it what Big Shaq says when he's buttering his toast. In fact, there's a chance you might do it without even realizing. The term refers to men who sit with their legs spread apart on public transport, taking up more than one seat. Yes, now you know what I'm talking about. Nothing like a morning commute with a great bulging moose knuckle on display opposite you, staring you in the face.
I've definitely seen men put their shopping bags on the other seat when the bus is already fucking packed. Oh, that definitely happens. It's definitely men who does that.
Yes. And of course, you don't hear about women spreading where they just decide that a seat needs to be occupied by the purse.
Well, there was an article I found.
Rage towards people who do that.
There's one I found a while ago. It was a woman who, and she was semi-justified in it, but like, basically, someone took her seat on the bus and she was pregnant. It ended up okay, but it was like, it was a rude person, not an act of misogyny.
Yes. Well, there's no need to gender every single incident of rudeness anyway. It's counterproductive. If this woman is real, we're all agreed. Wow, what a harpy. To go around throwing bleach and water onto crotches. Designed to leave a mark on those who are splashed.
I was actually very surprised to find out it was a Russian millennial, because most Russian millennials are kind of like what we are. You know, they're for free speech, they're for, you know, like Russian millennials, a bit crazy. Russian millennials are like for free speech, for no censorship, you know, stuff that anyone would be into. So hearing a Russian millennial do this has actually kind of shocked me a bit. Millennials are mostly the complete opposite of that.
According to Numbskull, this same
a Russian baby boomer.
Yes. Apparently, according to Numbskull, this same person did a video months back where they were fighting upskirting by lifting their skirt. This person does not logic good. But hopefully they're a parodist. You never really know. 75 times. They counted. Wow.
Last time someone tried to upskirt me, I punched him in the face.
That's the correct response. There's no reason to be a victim on this point. Moving away from this topic and the topic of Kavanaugh, let's talk about someone who deserves tremendous amount of hatred for their actions, and furthermore, well, has a lot more evidence against them. This, another one from Froman, is dad accused of killing his family doesn't like the monster label. A Colorado man whom authorities accused of killing his pregnant wife and 2 kids is upset by the widespread coverage his case is receiving.
He doesn't like Monster. It's humanely challenged.
He's very frustrated. He didn't know that everyone knows about the case. A source who speaks with Chris Watts from Weld County Jail told People magazine. Watts, 33, was arrested August 15th and charged with the murders of his wife, Shannon, 34, and their daughters, Bella, 4, and Celeste, 3. For more than a month, Watts has been spending 23 hours a day in his cell under suicide watch with no TV or reading material. Once a day, he's allowed to go to a common room where he has access to a communal newspaper. It was only recently that he learned his case has been covered nationally, the source told the magazine, and he's not happy about how he's being portrayed. He feels like no one understands him, and nobody knows what happened. The source said, he thinks if they did understand, they'd realize he's not the monster everyone says he is. Watts claimed his wife went berserk when he told her he wanted to separate, and that she's the one who murdered their daughters. His arrest affidavit shows he confessed to strangling Shannon, who was 15 weeks pregnant. But he claims it was after he watched her kill Celeste. The gravity situation has hit him like a ton of bricks, the source said. Depression is setting in and he's despondent. Watts hasn't entered a plea yet and is due back in court in November. Wow. Now, this is a person who people can really just go hog wild with labeling a monster, because let's hypothetically say we could believe for a second at all whatsoever that, oh, he just lost it and killed his wife because his wife killed the other kids. That might make a bit of sense if, again, she wasn't 15 weeks pregnant, because he had to know what the result of that would be. And if he did just lose his mind and make an already bad situation this much worse, well, he deserves everything he gets anyways. He's a basket case. And if he's present enough mentally to whinge over being called a monster, then I don't think for a second he was so crazy as to lose control and just off the one person. Wow.
I know how you can make it less sympathetic. Murder with rape.
Well, that is one way to make it less sympathetic. For all we know, that's how she was 15 weeks pregnant. No. That's not plausible at all.
Somehow you're so mean without being mean. I don't know how you manage to do that, but you do.
Oh, thank you. By the way, those of you in the chat, if you weren't aware, once again, this is an open mic article, Wade. Feel free to pop in if you are on the Discord server. No obligation, however.
I mean, you're not as cool as us, but no obligation. We roll with gangs.
Gangs? What gangs?
They see me rolling, they hating.
So white and nerdy.
I need to teach myself how to speak faster just so I can do that properly.
You're both nerdy.
Yeah, like I'm going to deny that one.
Same.
Warren's Utah man
Okay,
accused of
Arketer is
two
brain
murders.
nerdy.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
What? I'll review this later. You know, actually, I'm not sure if I chose wisely on this article. Utah man accused of 2 murders has been busy on the phone while in jail. Is there a twist here that explains why that's news? Besides the fact that, well, he's got a phone, he's in jail. What the hell else is he going to do with this time?
I think that he basically admitted it while in jail. Like he was calling people talking about it.
March 24th, being arrested for drug and weapons-related charges in San Pete County. Henderson finally gave investigators information that led them to the Tintic Standard Mine outside of Eureka on March 27th. A camera was lowered in the mine, which is more than 1,500 feet deep. Ah, there we go. The bodies of the young couple were found on a ledge 100 feet down. Well, maybe it's time to take away his phone. Or maybe they're letting him keep it just because they're waiting for him to give away some other piece of evidence.
I think that like he's actually done like a bunch of horrible crimes, and you just have him keep on talking to people, he'll just spill the beans.
Yes.
He did 9/11.
Well, what's amazing is that this person, this vile, apparently has people willing to spend 1,000 calls worth of time with him.
The dumbass is confessing it while on the phone in jail.
Now, would one of you want to read an article? It's not obligatory as well.
Angry Foreman's Rage pages?
Yes. I can
Which
go
one
ahead
is
and...
it?
It's up a little bit. I've gotten a lot recently.
Oh, yes,
Oh
yes.
my god. Okay,
There's a tremendous amount of military... material. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. The next article I was going to go over was put in general just now. University of Sheffield apologizes after a bouncer stood outside gender-neutral toilet asking people what sex they were.
No, it's sad.
I think Sargon put it best. Gender equality is having a gender-neutral bathroom and a women's bathroom.
There's already, but the gender-neutral bathrooms already exist. I mean, it's called community toilets.
Yeah.
Already exist.
Well, this is probably more of an American thing in most cases. I believe gender-neutral toilets are a new trick for the average American.
They weren't even meant to protect your fifis. The whole point of the gender-neutral toilet in the first place was because there were some cafes or stores that were just too small to have 2 toilets, so they just went, fuck it, just man and woman. Gender neutral.
Yeah, the vision, I suppose if you only have one person in there at a time, it really shouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah, like that was the whole reason for it. Now Americans just took that in a whole new direction. Okay,
They turned it into a virtue signal. And Enderman is quite right when it comes to the previous case. Really, he's giving away all sorts of information that could lead to conviction. Why not let him chatter on the phone? After all, if they're monitoring it, so much the better.
Yeah. A university has apologized after a bouncer stood outside a gender-neutral toilet and asked a student what sex they were. Named only as Dom. Sorry. Said he was banned from going into the gender-neutral toilet at the University of Sheffield after telling the bouncer he was a man. He tweeted, "Big fan of the equality that our uni offers, but to ban people from going into gender-neutral toilets because they identify as male is pathetic." To put a guy on the door saying, "What gender are you?" before letting them use the toilet is labeling people, the third-year student added.
No, hold on one second.
Okay.
Really, what was the logic of putting a bouncer on the gender-neutral toilet anyway? Because it's gender-neutral. It doesn't. This is the one instance where it shouldn't matter in the slightest goddamn bit what the gender of the person going into the toilet is. But someone thought to station a bouncer there anyway? Really?
I don't.
Welcome to the bathroom. What gender are you?
Yes. Welcome to the gender-neutral bathroom. Are you a man or a woman?
See, the thing is, I don't really understand this whole gender stuff because the thing is that these toilets are too disgusting or it's too full of like chatty bitches. Then I just go to the male's toilets, and the worst I've ever gotten in a male toilet is probably got on weird look. Male toilets when it's
and maybe a rumor that you're a trap.
Probably, I don't really care. But like I always went to the male toilets if the female toilets was too full or too disgusting to use, and the worst I've ever gotten was weird looks. So I don't understand this. You that has to be gender neutral because women can't go in men's toilets. Yeah, they can. They can go in men's toilets all they like. Men can go into women's toilets all they like. It's not. There's no law saying you can't. There's no law saying you can't.
Maybe not
you can
there.
technically go in there.
I don't know. I have to look into this. I'm not sure if Americans do have a law specifically forbidding men from going into women's bathrooms. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised, however, if there wasn't a law preventing women from going into men's bathrooms.
Well,
but the entire... Well,
I know that in...
Go ahead.
I was saying, well, I know that in England there is actually no such law that says that you're a man, you can't go into a women's toilet or vice versa. So, therefore, it doesn't fucking matter.
You would think it shouldn't, anyway. Why? I am just baffling about why they thought to put a bouncer there. Or was it just because someone felt it's very important to make the gender-neutral bathroom technically gender-neutral, but not to allow any men in, so that strictly speaking, in practice, what you have are 2 women's bathrooms and a men's bathroom? Was that what they thinking they would get away with?
Probably. Well, I just have to say, if they wanted 2 women's bathrooms... you could just have a 1 women's bathroom and stop taking your friends in there because you're too scared to piss by yourself.
Froman has this down, by the way. Go ahead and speak your theory out here, because I think it holds some water.
So does everyone know that gender neutral only means people without gender. So something like a headless baboon that doesn't have a brain, so therefore can't identify, is able to enter.
No, so someone who insists that they're neither male nor female, but are some super special fluid gender binary exempt snowflake. It's a bathroom exclusively for them. It's a genderless bathroom for the genderless. And greetings, Gareth Brown.
Non-binary people when I used to go to college. And I remember these non-binary people, because they didn't give a shit if you called them a girl or a boy, because they don't care. I like those gender-neutral people. Can we have more of those, please?
I suppose in this case it'd be gender indifferent, and yes, that's probably the best way to go about it. Still silly, but if we're going to be silly about it, we could be passively silly. It's a lot more braceable that way.
All the world's
Yeah.
problems are because people care too much.
An alarming lot of them. It's what they care about. There's a whole lot of serious obsession over completely trivial minutiae attributable to cosmic chance. But
speaking to the Times. Oh, never speak to the Times. A spokesman for the university said a new member of staff misunderstood their policy. Gender-neutral toilets are available for everyone to use. Yes, that's what it means. We apologize for any upset this mistake may have caused. A student union spokesman said many trans and or non-binary people face a lot of anxiety about using toilets, and it can often be a very stressful experience. You're going there to take a piss. You're not going there to fuck or anything. Accommodation exclusively for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender students may soon be offered at Sheffield University, the student union told the Times.
aha, see, this implies it's the staff member who believed that this was supposed to be a super special gender snowflake bathroom only for the super special gender snowflakes.
Okay, so they're going for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender students. So you're not making another toilet. You're just making another toilet. You're making a sex room.
I don't know what they think they're doing, but it seems like they're less concerned with providing utilities and more concerned with giving certain identities their own little clubhouse.
Okay. The reason why I think that is because lesbian, gay, bisexual sexualities, and they want to make a bathroom for the sexualities.
Yes.
Do you see how that's a bit? Oh, see how that could be taken to such a wrong way.
Come on, don't show any hate. We just want to segregate people.
Segregation is so very woke these days.
But gender-neutral bathrooms already fucking exist, and the thing is, it was made so that everyone can use the toilet and not excluding people at all.
You know, that was
the whole point.
That was well spotted, Steam. I kind of glossed over that. Special toilets for sexualities, not genders, sexualities.
Yeah.
Why the high-flying hell would you need special sexuality-based bathrooms if you weren't just trying to provide a rather tasteless place to hook up?
To be honest, I kind of think if you fuck in a public toilet, then you're a disgusting bastard and you should rethink your life. But
no, I would say it's a bit inconsiderate. And people have their own bathrooms for these sorts of things.
Well, this is why I don't like going to the women's toilets very much, because every time I've gone into a women's toilet, it's either really disgusting, overcrowded, or someone's having sex in there. Never in the men's toilets, though.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I would have the men's toilets be the more popular porking spot. Or is it always lesbians in this case?
It's lesbians and straight couples, usually.
I'm surprised the straight couples are going to the women's bathroom on this point. Well,
that's why I don't like going to public toilets.
Hey, Angry Froman, do you want the distracted boyfriend meme is sexist article?
Oh my. Oh.
Reached orgasm.
Yes. Yeah, I have to say, at that point, it sounded like you were enjoying it a little too much.
It's more of a depressing one.
A depressing orgasm, okay.
Yeah. So, distracted boyfriend meme is sexist rules Swedish advertising watchdog. There's a sexist watchdog now? Oh boy. Oh boy. Why?
Sexist rules, Swedish advertising watch.
Quiet you, Steam.
I know this.
This image, known by online communities as the distracted boyfriend meme, is based on a stock photo of a man turning away from his appalled girlfriend to look at an attractive woman. Swedish internet service provider Bahnhof used the image alongside with a jobs advert in their name on the meme. The boyfriend is turning away from your current workplace to stare at Bahnhof. Swedish regulatory advisement watchdog RO now stated that the use of the meme is gender discriminatory, both due to presenting women as interchangeable sex objects and presenting a stereotypical picture of men seeing women as interchangeable. Okay. So it's bad that men see them as it, and it's also bad that people see them as it.
This is sexist. Stock image.
Men bad, women weak.
Well, and furthermore, isn't the entire point of the meme that it's not really women there? And
it's supposed to say, oh, okay, well, we're gonna. Actually, I guess it kind of objectifies the women into into molds that you can just put on anything. That's how the social justice activists want it to be, right?
Mm.
Equality!
Well, I suppose they'll get their way one way or the other, as Enderman noted. He thought that we just need to stop Article 13 to stop Europeans from banning memes. Sweden, of course, clearly is keen on doing it on their own anyway, just on the grounds of it being sexist. In this case, what? I suppose we'll just have to get by using MS-painted stick figures doing the exact same thing. Have them explain why the stick figures are clearly gendered one way or the other. Gareth Brown, my question here is this: when all the men are gone, who will they blame? If all the men are gone, then it becomes quite moot because humanity follows shortly thereafter.
It goes white men, white women and Asian men are kind of interchangeable. Then it's black men. Then it's Asian women. Black women of color, I guess. I don't know the whole hierarchy of victimhood.
Okay, so black people are the most oppressed people. Then second to that is Muslims.
Oh yeah,
any Muslims. And then because they think that Muslims are race anyway, might as well just say it. And then on top of that, it's Indians, and then it's Asian women, then it's Asian men, and then it's the mixed race people.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised there's an entire hierarchy of who to blame next.
And then it's the mixed race people that don't look like their race, and then it's white women, and then it's white men.
Sounds about right. They're already moving on to white women even now. And Gareth Brown, if you weren't catching my signaling, yes, by all means pop in. We have another 3 slots and it's open mic, Article Wade. You can pop in at will. Until we're full up, in which case you're screwed.
I used to be an SJW, so I kind of have the hierarchy works a little bit.
Oh yes. Well, it's a good thing to have notes from that time. And certainly
It
they're
might
sticking to their
change.
plan. There's a lot more hatred
Well,
towards white women now.
it might have changed a bit since then because when I started, it used to been something like 20, 25 genders. Now it's an infinite amount of genders. So it wasn't as crazy when I started out, but it was still pretty crazy.
Oh, the moment you
Wait.
go over 2, you necessarily have infinite. Because again, there's nothing that defines a third gender that separates a third gender from someone only insisting they are. There's no clear objective difference. I can, of course, reaffirm my gender as Squircob, and ergo, I'm immune to all male criticism. Pity this advantage has been kind of lost recently. I was banned by the person inclined to hold my gender against me. Apparently, they're very sensitive about anyone noting that Kavanaugh has no evidence against him.
Good morning.
Gareth,
What up?
welcome.
Hello?
How
Thank
are
you
you
once
this fine hypothetical Saturday?
You know, there's a nasty bug going around, and both my parents are out of commission again.
Ah, sympathies. Bugs used to be
And I'm
going
being
around
forced to
somewhere
make
there,
tea every few hours.
Shit, does this mean I'm gonna get it?
No. At least that's all you're having to do. I know people who are having much harder times with relatives. Tea is pretty light on this scale.
And coffee, and dinner, and lunch, and all the other things. And
Okay.
walking the dog.
But are they trying to burn the place down?
No, it's not that kind of virus. They're trying to destroy the sewage system. At least
Okay.
that's what the virus is trying to do.
Then you're still lucky. You still got enough light. Count your blessings.
Are you sure?
Yeah, thank fuck for that.
I know people who have to worry about said relatives trying to burn the place down now and again. Poor fellows.
Well, if my
Ah,
parents
good.
are evil, not senile.
Good times.
I know, right?
Angry Truman, would you like to resume the article?
Yeah, 1 second. The original post shares Banoff's Facebook, Instagram pages received hundreds of comments, many of these criticizing the alleged sexism of the image. I mean, the most you could say is it was conceptualizing women. That's all I can say. The advert was reportedly reported to the Swedish advertising ombudsman, the body which regulates advertising industry. It portrays women as interchangeable objects, and their only appearance is interesting. Wrote their appearance is only their appearance is interesting. Oh, I'm herptoderp. I'm illiterate. Wrote that ombudsman was unanimous in the decision. It added that there was no link between the services provided by Banoff and the objectified image of women.
Am I
You
an
know-
object?
If you are with a woman whose sole redeeming quality is the way they look, then why wouldn't you be looking elsewhere if you see something more interesting? I suppose the real tragedy here is if you are someone who only has their looks going for them. That'd be rather tragic.
I don't even have looks going for me.
That's not
To the object
true.
question, hippity hoppity, women are property.
No. But they're going to behave that way, as if that were the norm. Strangely
It's
enough, while
Sweden.
defending
They're
the people
almost
from the
there.
countries where that actually is the norm.
Let's see. According to the committee, the objectification is reinforced by the fact that the women I'm illiterate. Okay, that's a word that's not working in my brain right now. Designated. Herptoderp, sorry. As workplace representatives, while the man, as the recipient of advertisement, is being produced as an individual.
How much do they write about this one Swedish... here we go.
Apparently, quite a lot.
Well, just another 6 articles. Paragraphs. Wow.
Yeah.
These people must be desperate.
They must be
Either that or they're
really...
just-
I'm inclined to think they must be desperate to focus on anything other than the real problems in Sweden.
The genocide going on right now.
No, clearly not yet. I think eventually that would have to break through their media blackout.
Oh
There's...
no, they won't even acknowledge it. This genocide's been going on for 5 years in Africa, and they won't even acknowledge it.
Oh,
It's,
right. Sweden's ignorance of the farm killings in South Africa, yes.
What was it, like
Yeah.
2012? White people need to give up their farms, and then famine gets worse from that point on, and then
You're
they
thinking
want
of
white
Zimbabwe, I believe, which is
Oh,
the history about to be repeated.
Yeah, and I'm in the middle
Yeah.
of it.
Oh, is
Fuck
that
this
so,
country.
Gareth Brown? I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm not in the farms, but I'm close enough to the farms to be concerned. And besides that, we're also going through one of the worst droughts we've had in our history right now, and it's not looking good. Combination of political interference, very, very, very nasty viral outbreaks across the entire country, some rather nasty viruses, including antibiotic-resistant tuberculosis, which is currently at epidemic levels right now. And we've got an idiot for leadership.
Cyril Ramaphosa, if I'm not mistaken.
I saw the announcement for we will stop being poor by printing more money.
Ah, so they're going to use the same solution as Zimbabwe as well. Well, hey, when they start printing out billion-dollar bills that are worth about 5 American, at least some enterprising individual can make some real money by selling those as novelty notes to foreigners.
The chances are extremely likely that if the Swedish people realized how incompetent their government was, they wouldn't bother. They would just abandon the country and shoot everyone on their way out. At least if they had any balls or backbone left, they would.
Yes, it seems there's...
As far as I'm concerned, I no longer recognize Sweden to be a sovereign nation.
See,
It's an embarrassment.
I feel the same way about France. Has Sweden abolished the age of consent? What is the age of consent in Sweden? I should look that up. If they've done that, then yes, I'm... Oh, you know.
I think the age of consent is 15, isn't it?
In Sweden? Okay, that's better. France, I believe, was somewhere around 12, and they decided to just do away with it entirely.
The age of consent in England... the age of consent in England is 16, but that's because when you're 16, you leave school to either go in college or work or both, and you can basically do everything except buy alcohol when you turn 16.
Well, I'm not exactly surprised that France surrendered. They did the first time, and the second.
That's all they're good for.
Yes, they had that one revolution in which they killed everyone who had any balls whatsoever, and now they just can't. They can't even.
I loved how the Americans kept going like, yeah, but France is better than England. Yeah, but France is better than England.
Not
and then
anymore.
They come out with this pedophile thing. And I'm just like, ha ha ha. Yeah, what were you saying? Because the thing is like they keep saying that, but then they don't look at the problems France is facing at the moment. And you're going like, you're saying we're worse than that country. Have you seen what that country is doing at the moment?
Like, the only thing France has going for it right now is nuclear power, and that's still kind of on odd grounds with them.
They just, yeah. Like, there's been
Yeah.
problems with France for fucking decades, and like
Centuries.
really fucked up shit. And then I hear Americans going like, yeah, but France is so much better because the people there don't give a shit, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? It wasn't until only 20 years ago children as young as 8 could drink alcohol. This is fucked.
Well, I would say that's
Well,
still the lesser evil compared to just abolishing age of consent. When it comes
Well,
to
first of
French,
all,
well, like the alcohol rule. In ye olden days, that was the safest thing to drink. So, insisting the kids drink the water was just a way to get a bunch of kids killed. But clearly, the laws took their time in updating that.
That was pretty much, yeah. Like, I think that's the problem. They didn't update their laws as thoroughly enough.
I'm sorry, but you were saying, Gareth.
it's like that one meme I saw on a DeviantArt page once. It was a picture of the Wikipedia article for French Armed Forces with the prefix not to be confused with coward. That was funny. But also, on the other hand, the United States of America is not to be amiss from blame for stupidity.
Oh no,
They are
no.
the one with 2 nuclear reactors next to one of the most active earthquake zones in the world.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
San Andreas fault line. I
You know-
can't wait for it to blow.
Yes.
Five, count them, 5 active volcanoes within the blast radius, and that's just in the U.S. This is gonna be hilarious. Not to mention
Well,
tragic.
Yeah, tragic, yes.
Tragic.
But hey, well, there are people who won't really miss San Francisco when it's gone.
Half of them are in the other side of the country.
The majority of people who won't miss San Francisco don't live there. Some of them might live there, in which case it's pretty clear they just long for the sweet release of death.
With the death of Silicon Valley will come the death of the deep state's biggest cash cow.
And
we
Ingram is right. None of the EU nations are really sovereign states at this point, no more than Texas or Ohio. That's what the EU wants. In fact, they're floating the idea of making it official, turning the EU into just the European United countries. Turn the countries into states. If that doesn't scare a lot of EU member nations, I really don't know what should.
They're trying to make it America 2.0, and they're failing miserably.
Yep.
I would say props to Norway and Denmark because they went fuck you no.
Not to mention Hungary.
Oh yes. And that's the correct response. Brexit, Fraxit, Swexit. This is not a drill.
All things taken into consideration, the last 20 years have been an incredible view into one of the greatest acts of treason ever carried out in human history.
Mm.
And it's still ongoing.
It is indeed. Hi, greetings, Chagrin and Bert. You know, this is an open mic. We're near the end of this point, really, but you're welcome to still pop in. There's a slot in the Discord voice chat server. Good to see you in any case.
Damn it, I came in the last minutes.
Well,
Fuck.
not quite the last minute, but the last 10 to 15. There's another article left, and I've got to share some dog metal with everyone before we close out proper. By the way,
I was playing Arma. I got distracted.
Also, by the way, if any of you have any links or things you want to shield towards the end, now's the time to probably start getting them ready to pop into chat. Just so you know. Froman, would you mind if we moved on to the next article?
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Because there's a lot of articles to say Sweden be crazy. A lot of paragraphs. And quite frankly, I don't think anyone here didn't know that already. Teacher charged for allegedly putting his toddler into a mole game machine to steal prizes. Anthony
What the
Helinski, a 34-year-old Massachusetts middle school teacher employed by Andover Public Schools has been charged with 2 counts of criminal trespassing, 3 counts of criminal theft, and endangering the welfare of a child after allegedly putting his toddler into a mall claw game machine to steal toys. As the New York Post reported, the crime took place at the Mall of Rockingham Park in Salem in September 14th. A witness recorded the incident on their cell phone, and police issued the video on Facebook in an attempt to identify the suspect, an attempt that seemingly worked. The cell phone footage reveals the thief giving instructions to the young toddler on how to maneuver herself inside the machine, and then he gives the stolen goods to a young boy after the young girl tosses out the toys out of the machine. Video game systems are among the merchandise that was stolen. The young boy looks between 4 and 7 years old, and both children are reportedly Helinsky's kids. The suspect can also be heard giving the toddler instructions on how to remove herself from the game, and the young child can be seen exiting the machine. Thankfully, the young toddler appears to be healthy and didn't appear to have any injuries from climbing in and out of the machine. A hostess at the Mall of Rockham Park restaurant witnessed the crime and called security.
Does this man know my cousin at all?
I don't know. If you know what Rockingham Park Mall is, I suppose it's entirely possible.
I don't know. It just sounds a lot like a cousin of mine. Just a little bit.
Excuse me, guys.
Justin Lawrenceman charged with stealing from toy machine at Rockingham Park Mall. Police say Anthony Helinsky had a toddler climb into the toy machine to get items. And this is one of those few items that, articles that one might not be unreasonable in suspecting might be fake news. There's an awful lot of that going around, usually from, well, poorly labeled satire sites. But we know this one is legit. Why do we know it's legit? Because we have the footage that was recorded. Let's take a look, shall we?
Oh.
This is bold. This is whatever else you might say about these idiots. This is bold as brass, because you can, well, maybe not people in my voice chats over here can hear it, but this is the middle of the day. You can hear people walking around the mall. This is not discreet in the slightest.
That guy's losing his job.
Yeah, I would hope so. This is
I mean, you won't.
Well,
Well,
considering
video
we
games
get
are
the
worth
top,
all that
let's hope he loses a kid.
Good memories are coming back to me.
what would this jackass have done if his darling little girl had gotten stuck in that damn thing?
Well, let's just hope he lost his kid after this shit.
Well, I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't think that like really. I mean, he's gonna go to jail, so someone's got to watch the kid while he's in jail.
Yes.
Good point.
And
But like,
there's...
I don't know. I don't.
Go ahead.
The kid could have got stuck. The kid could have got injured coming out. Like, you can mangle an arm of a kid real easy. Their bones are pretty fragile.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, greetings officially to the voice chat for Good and Bert. Wait.
Ah, good memories.
Yeah, that irks me. Now, I understand to a certain degree, because if anyone's been around these malls, first off, I think the reporters are reporting this wrong. You don't see game systems in the classic down crane game, because there's ever the slightest chance that the crane might actually dig one of those up. You only ever see rewards like that in the games that have you try to pop a balloon with a butter knife, or stick a metal key through a plastic square that probably isn't the correct size to fit the key through to begin with.
Well, I've seen some here, but they're like there are different little things like PSPs and stuff that are in those little egg-looking things.
Mm.
So they're slick, so it can't really grip it
Mm.
because it's in these little egg-like capsules.
I wouldn't actually have an issue with this guy if he had, oh, I don't know, discreetly, leaving his children out of it, just smashed one of the bastards in and looted it. Because those things are kind of an offensive scam. But this is indefensible. I'm not sure he should lose his kids because there's no guarantee they'll be put with better. But, wow. Wow.
At least they're away from him.
Indeed.
Were those games worth losing your job?
No, and as a teacher, no less. What did he think would happen once this, got around?
Wait, he was thinking?
Apparently not. What a terrible thief. Again, broad daylight, didn't bother to look around just to see if anyone's, oh, I don't know, obviously recording them with their cell phone.
Yeah, nobody was discreet here.
Nope. Nope.
0 points for beginner spy school here. Nobody's being recruited by Cicada 3301 here. We are not dealing with geniuses here.
Nope. On administrative leave. I think it's probably worse by now. Or are they just that desperate for, Are they really that desperate for teachers? That'd be kind of sad. Oh well.
Yeah. You would be surprised what kind of terrible things teachers can do and still be employed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's because they have so many feminists in the system these days, it's difficult to get anyone who'll actually teach something useful for once.
No, it's more the system that
That's
they have,
college.
and nobody wants to be a teacher because nobody wants. Honestly, teachers don't get paid enough. They really don't. And also, when it comes to the school supplies, you know why there's this long list of school supplies that the parents have to bring the kids every year with them here in Texas, anyway. But I still see that there's a lot of stuff that these teachers are buying out of their pocket for their rooms. They're not getting reimbursed for that. They only get reimbursed like $200 to $300 a year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that needs to be...
I'm intending on becoming a teacher myself, and, like, if I wanted to do tutoring full-time online, I could get paid more doing $20 an hour because I don't have to pay taxes on it than I could going to a 4-year university. I'm doing it anyways, but I could be paid more just doing $20 an hour, and that's cheap for tutors.
See, the thing is, Japan does overwork their teachers. I understand that completely, but I give them credit. They do pay the teachers extremely well.
Well,
that's
at this point, is there any career the Japanese can take where they aren't going to be overworked? Because I think by now they'd be pretty used to it. It seems to be sort of boilerplate. Get a job in Japan, expect to be overworked, but at least they'll pay you well, which is good. Certainly that's a stark contrast to the worst of American companies.
Mostly.
Yes, overwork you and get paid chicken scratch. Which would also be the case here with the teachers in Texas, at least. That's very sad to hear. I'm from Texas myself, and this would explain, I suppose, why there were only a handful of teachers I remember very fondly. Not that I was the best student, but some were there because they believed in their career, and some were there because I'm guessing they weren't really welcome anywhere else.
I will say I had the weirdest teacher in high school, and there was a lot of rumors that he was sleeping with students. Like, there was a lot of that kind of stuff, but he kept his job, even with all those rumors going around, and even with him actually saying that some girls just needed to get laid. He still was able to keep his job.
No, I remember.
One of my teachers.
I remember a secondary school teacher that would always be a little too handsy with the girls.
Okay.
One of my teachers, nothing in that perspective, but like for 2 years straight, he didn't actually do any teaching. Like for one of the class, I was teaching the class more than he was, and I was a student. I wasn't even graduating from high school, and I was teaching the class how to do this because what he would do is he would give everyone the test, leave the room, and leave the test answers on his desk.
So what are
Wow.
you doing with that gun?
Nothing.
You're not shooting yourself, are you?
No.
He wants to.
I don't
The-
know
the-
what was
the-
worse, that or the teacher who admitted that she used to be a Black Panther.
I would say the other ones are worse. I'd take a political activist over a kitty diddler any day.
I didn't have any of those issues when I was.
Mind
in
you, if
high
it's a
schools.
2-for-1, that's still terrible.
Who is it? Yvette Falarka, who takes her kids to things. She's been arrested for it, luckily, but I'm not sure where she's standing right now.
Hmm.
Let's hope she's in prison.
I know a female teacher. When I was in secondary school, she had a weird habit of just slapping the students' asses.
No.
Yeah,
No,
but
no,
it was
no.
like attaboy, slap on the ass and like going.
Ugh, that
Okay.
is so no, inappropriate.
I
The
can't
worst
relate.
thing is she was about, I think she was about 60 years old at the time.
You don't have
Um,
these
wow.
kinds of problems in South African schools, I can tell you that much. I
No.
was in the public school system straight from grade 1 all the way up to when I dropped out of high school, unfortunately. I went into technical college, but you don't have these kinds of problems in South African schools, mostly because the teachers are too busy trying to stay alive. There have been repeated
Yeah.
gun incidents and other incidents and stuff like that. It's mostly down to violence and aggression. And the sexual tension is between the students, not the teachers. The teachers, frankly, just want to get the fuck away from us. But all things considered, we never had any of these sexual escapades or anything like that.
Hmm.
And any ones that did were, well, let's just say they received significantly worse retribution than they do in the US. Sleeping with students and relations with students is pretty much extremely forbidden.
Good.
But the students can basically fuck in the bathrooms as much as they like, for as long as they like.
Well, that's a problem, but I would say maybe better one overall. After all, they're all the same age and making all the same stupid decisions with the same degree of responsibility. It's a problem, but not quite the same, and not perhaps quite as disgusting in context.
It's also a problem considering the rather severe AIDS epidemic that's going around down here. So, yeah, 6 of one, half a dozen of another.
Well, that's...
It's-
I'm not saying it's not a
that's
problem,
just-
don't get me wrong. The bureaucracy bogs down the passionate, which breeds dispassion, which breeds further ineffectiveness. Yes, absolutely. Oh, Jinxie, you're definitely just in time to not be here very long, I'm afraid. I've been rather critically depressed by this, so it's time to move on to dog metal. Before I get involved with this, and
Dog.
for those of you in this voice chat, you probably won't be able to hear it playing. You might want to listen to this from the live stream directly. Dog metal. It's literally accurate. But before I start this, I want to put out one quick disclaimer, namely the fact that I cannot stand the phrase fur babies. It will be used towards the end. Not by the dogs, happily.
Okay.
Oh, and if you all weren't aware, I've already released a new video on my YouTube channel, which hopefully hasn't been taken down by HBO quite yet. How to Destroy Your Enemies, Part 2, to their own applause, ethnicities. Discussing how you can encourage that ethnicity you really don't like, you monster, to just set itself on fire while being applauded for it. Jinxie knows what I'm talking about. I finally edited a version that at least HBO will allow to be seen.
Well, anyway, it's past midnight here. It was wonderful being on again, Arketer. I shall see you again during your next open mic, hopefully.
Absolutely. Next Wednesday will be another open mic. We'll be discussing the aftermath of Doki Doki Literature Club, which I'm still a bit bitter about, but we got through it. It's done. That's fantastic.
Hallelujah.
Indeed. Next Wednesday we plan on having open mic as we discuss the lore behind it and whatever Matt Pat dug out in game theory. Thanks for joining us, Gareth Brown, and cheers. Onwards to dog metal.
Night, night.
Until next time, ostensibly, progress continues.
Technology.
Damn it.
Progress.
I'm surprised they didn't throw the Borks in there.
Arketer Labs.